Hey guys, welcome to the Wadcast Podcast. I am your host, Eddie Ift, and this is the show. We've got an amazing guest today. I don't know how amazing he is. That's Hunter McIntyre. He is amazing. He's a 6-time world champion in obstacle course racing. He was the undefeated winner of the Broken Skull Challenge. He has been to the CrossFit Games. He has done everything, and now he is producing, organizing, officiating his own event called the OCR Stars, which is an online competition for obstacle course racers, CrossFitters, anyone that wants to go involved. It's a fitness event. Looks awesome. I'm going to do it. November 2nd, go to OCRstars.com to get involved. It's very similar to these CrossFit events, but there's some running involved. If you hate running, well, don't be a pussy. But if you like to run, you like doing chippers or any kind of Metcon kind of workout, that's what it is. These are burners, and you got to be really fit to do them. So, and when I say fit, I don't mean really strong. I mean really well-conditioned. Anyone can do it, but if you want to do well, you better be conditioned. And we talk all about that. We talk about the games. We talk about the beer mile that we're doing this Saturday. Hunter has to break 6 minutes, or he owes me $1,000. It's going to an ALS charity. We talk about everything. And we talk about strippers. I don't know why. This show, that's what we do. We talk about health, fitness, strength, conditioning, CrossFit, obstacle course racing, martial arts. I love skiing, mountain biking, surfing. I talk about that stuff a lot. So we have great guests. Casey Dean's on next week, who is a pro surfer, pro mountain biker, pro skier. Both of those. Professional. He's incredible. He's our guest next week. He also does CrossFit. That's why I talked to him. Everybody has some kind of link back to some kind of fitness that's like high level. So that's where we're centered in. If you like the show, please go to your gym and promote it, right? Hey, listen and watch the Wadcast Podcast on your whiteboard when your coach isn't looking, and take a photo of it on your phone and then send it to me at wadcastpodcast@yahoo.com or on my Instagram at wadcastpodcast, and I will post it because I think it's hilarious. And you can write a note to me, whatever you want. Just do it. That's the easiest thing you can do to promote the show. You can also promote it by going on iTunes and write a review. Write a nice review, please. I haven't gotten any in a while. That's all you got to do. Write a review or just give it 5 stars. It helps. It gets us up in the algorithm. We're consistently in the top 50. Consistently, worldwide. I'd like to be top 10. That's my goal. That's what I'm shooting for. I want this to be a top 10 show. Can't do it without you guys. You guys have been great supporting the show. You give to the Patreon. I do have a Patreon winner. What you do is if you give to the Patreon, you give $5 a month. That's it. $5. That's almost $1 an episode. It's like $1.25 an episode. That's what you get this for. You get yourself probably, that's what I'm saying, you want to get a Myopux and a Leopard Claw, which is worth like $400. So you win. And they are what they are. It's an electronic muscle stimulator. You're going to hook these pads up to you wherever you have an injury, and it pumps the muscle like this giant bicep muscle. And it pumps it. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to put it on one of these episodes. And you put it on, and then it makes the blood flow there without doing excess any more tissue damage where it's injured. And it brings the blood there and takes all the bad stuff out into the lymphatic system. You know how it gets out? Breath. That's a lot of it. But it goes out through the lymphatic system, and it expedites the inflammatory process. We also have leopard claws. You get a leopard claw too, which is like a multi-tool device that you're going to use to scrape. Call it scraping. I feel like it's like rubbing. You just rub out all the adhesions, brings better blood flow to the injured part. Did it the other day to this elbow. I got my elbow here now. Look at that elbow. Look at that thing. Do you see that? That's a bone chip. Did it to that one too. Fixed that one. So check this out. The winner of this week's Patreon is dun 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 dun. Drum roll, please. Let's hear the drum roll. What's the drum roll? I wrote this down. I thought I took a picture of it. I thought I took a picture. Where was it? There it is. Winner, J.C. Dannert. JC, thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for giving $5. When you give $5, don't give, win, then get out. There's people that have given for years and years and months. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. JC Dannert, you're getting yourself a leopard claw and a Myopux. And also, we just put the spreadsheet together to make sure every single winner that has ever won gets theirs. Troy over there at Myopux and leopard claw will make sure you get them. And again, can't thank you enough for helping, supporting the show, keeping going. This is like this is what I do now. This is it. Because there is no such thing as stand-up comedy anymore. Although I am doing a show tomorrow night. I'm at Huntington Beach at a place called, I'll let you know if you're in the area. It's a free show, and I can't tell you who, but there is an extremely, extremely famous comedian, like one of the most famous, is on the show with me. The place is called Sea Legs at the Beach. Sea Legs at the Beach. The show starts at 7 p.m. It's probably going to be all sold out. Even though it's a free thing, it's not sold out, but all the seats will be taken. So, because they have to do it COVID friendly, everybody be socially distanced. So try to get there early, and you're going to see an amazing show. Saturday, I think we're going to be in Newport doing the Beer Mile. You can contact me about that. Other than that, thanks for listening. Thanks for participating. I want to thank Inside Tracker and Eat the 80 for sponsoring the show, Myopux and Leopard Claw, and I want to thank Hunter McIntyre for coming on and doing this amazing episode. So let's just go straight to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wadcast Podcast. This is a very strange episode. We are trying to be COVID safe. I don't know how safe we are with this monster across from me. I wouldn't let him come in my house. I made him go around, climb over the deck.
I've been in your house twice since the past 2 months.
Shh. Don't tell my wife. She's inside. This is the Wadcast Podcast, and our guest today is none other than Biceps Win Races.
Wait a second. Look how beefy that thing is right there.
Hunter, Pasty, Hall & Oates, McIntyre. You look like John Hall from Hall & Oates.
I hope that's a compliment.
I don't know. I shouldn't talk with this ratty... I don't know what's going on. It's just I can't get a haircut.
What's wrong with having a great hairdo?
Can you talk into the microphone?
People stop me in the streets and just beg to spend time with me. They stop and they're like, "Sir, I just want you to know that my entire day has been changed for the better since I've seen you."
I agree. That's how I feel right now. I brought you all kinds of things today because this is an important show. I brought you some glasses from Gooder.
Which we all appreciate.
Yeah, they make great sunglasses. Great for running, riding. I posted something on a page, and one of my high school friends who runs like a marathon every week was like, "Oh my God, those are my favorite running glasses." The pair I got you...
They're COVID friendly.
I bought these as kind of a joke for you. The ones I wear I love. But these I bought as kind of a joke. I had them on. My daughter told me I look like... She said, "I look like a man that steals kids."
Well... I play with a BB gun all the time. My friends and I have BB gun fights, so those are perfect.
Oh, you're going to wear these for...
Are those battle tested?
I don't know.
I got shot in the eye?
I don't know. You're going to have to... I also got you a beer since we were running the beer mile on Saturday. I thought, no, don't drink it. We're going to chug it. We're going to chug it and see who wins.
You gave me like a cup that couldn't even like satisfy an ant.
Well, speaking of ants, I also brought you a bee. There's a dead yellow jacket that I thought you might eat. Will you eat that?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
No, I don't eat bugs. I don't do it.
Listen, I'm down to eat anything. I just don't. I don't see the upside.
How about you give me something else? I just don't eat things, especially things that I'm allergic to.
Pull a turd off a butt.
Pull a turd out of... You know, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm glad that like my child's locked in the house and can't hear this. But we were just talking about a friend of mine. I won't say his name. And he's kind of distanced himself from all of us. The reason he doesn't speak to me is because literally 20 years ago, this New Year's Eve, 20 years ago, my friends and I went to his girlfriend's place in Tahoe for a party. There was no party, and he made us all go stay in the basement. like stay there while he was like upstairs with her and two of her friends.
Why?
Because he like, I don't think he had the right to invite us. So we're downstairs and we're staying there for the weekend.
Did they know that you were there?
Yeah, but it was kind of like rude. Like they were mad that he invited us, and they were like, "Well, just have him stay downstairs." So it was like, you know, there were bedrooms and everything, but we were just confined to like the downstairs. It was really weird. So I might have looked up where you could hire a stripper in South Lake Tahoe, and I had a stripper. And I explained to her that she would have to come through the backyard through the snow because no one could see her because we had to bring her through a door in the basement, you know, into the house. So we had a private strip show, me and four of my buddies, while he was upstairs with his girlfriend. Now, in the middle of this, he came down and said, "Why are you guys being so quiet?" We had her hidden in the bathroom.
Yeah.
We showed him to her. He got a lap dance from her, laughed, giggled like he's never giggled, and went back upstairs to his girlfriend. Years later, stopped talking to me and said, Eddie's really immature, and the stuff he did, like when he brought that stripper to my girlfriend's house, girlfriend who he had broken up with since, and he's like, I can't be friends with him anymore. And we have not spoken.
How's that have anything to do with turds?
Well, he was at a party one night, and he calls everybody into a room. The same guy, years after that, and he's naked, with his legs thrown over his head, pushing a turd out, sucking it in, pushing it out, sucking it in.
You witnessed this?
No, all my friends saw.
That is heavy duty. What kind of friend is this? I'm a fucked up guy, but like if I witnessed that, I'd be like, I'm out.
These guys I lifeguard with, lifeguarded with in New Jersey, they're all like that.
Everybody I've ever met who's in lifeguarding is like just like downright dirty. Like they're like the bottom of the barrel fraternity brothers.
We had a doctor on patrol who would take care of us if we got STDs. Like, you didn't go to the doctor. You went to this guy and you gave him $50.
Pour gasoline on it?
And he took care. No, he just gave you a bottle of pills. And he was like, here you go.
Your dick burns.
You would walk in. You would go up to one of the lieutenants and you're like, yeah, I got a little burn down there. And they'd go, all right, go see the doc after work today. And you would drive down to Wildwood, New Jersey. And this guy, you'd like knock on his door and he would just hand you like a prescription thing of penicillin or whatever it was.
My friend, he was in Virginia Beach lifeguard, like one of the biggest beaches in the country. And the stories he told me, it's just debaucherous. It's filthy.
It was awful. We had a guy, I'm not going to say his name. He had sex with as many girls as there were days in the summer. So guys would like keep tallies. And if you want to Me Too something, Me Too these beach patrols.
They're saving lives, though.
Yeah, saving lives and
stealing wives.
Yeah, that's basically what was happening. And there was a lot of that too. There was a bar on the island that was.
You're talking about Jersey?
Yeah. You know, they barrier islands. It doesn't look like an island. It just looks like you go over a bridge to get to the island. But
is Jersey legit?
There's very nice parts of New Jersey. Really, really nice. And then there's cheesiest places you've ever been in your whole life.
My friend Kempson is planning on moving to like one of these like inlets in New Jersey. Like just middle of nowhere. Like
Barnegat Inlet or something?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's okay, but it's not near anybody.
It's great in the summer.
I don't know why he's doing it.
Because he's 15 minutes away from a town and he's on like, it's like us. I'm isolated up here. But I'm 15 minutes away from something.
Yeah.
Anyway, insane stories.
I'm ready to quit California, by the way.
All right, let's not get into that. I'm
just telling you the truth. I'm making my last stand right here, right now. If it gets any worse, I'm out.
Okay, good. No one cares. But we care about your beer mile time. What do you think you're going to run it in?
5:40.
Really?
Yeah. I already keep on doing all these testers. I'm not going to drink like all 4 beers, but I'll basically do like a very, very hard.
You mean in testing you don't drink all 4 beers, but in the race day you're going to?
Yeah, of course. What I've been doing is I've been doing these super hard workouts, like 5 by 2 minutes max effort on the treadmill, and then I just rest a couple minutes and I unlock both of my beers, and then I just go. I just chug a beer. Each of them have been under 6 seconds. I can show you a video right now, and I just chug, get on at a 5-minute flat pace, run for 15 seconds. Once my feet hit, run for a minute and 15 seconds. And then I jump off, do another beer, run a minute, 15 seconds.
Big question. Do you think I'm going to break 10 minutes?
Sure.
I don't.
Really?
It took me...
Do you want to know the technique?
10:55
Because we're not competing against each other.
We're not competing against each other. Tell me the technique.
So I just talked to this guy I guess I'll get his information real quick. His name is... Let's see. His name's Chris Robertson, and he holds the American beer mile record. He's a two-time... He has the beer mile 2-mile world record, and he's a 2-time world champ in the beer mile. And I talked to him. I called him this morning. I was like, listen, I want to just break this. If I lose, I got to give away some money. If I win, I get something out of it. He's like, honestly, he's like, you need to be holding your 1-mile race pace. For me, is probably going to be 70 seconds or less. It's like 69 seconds would be my 1-mile pace right now. He said bump it up 2 to 3 seconds, and you should be able to hold on, run into each lap, chug really quickly. You have to, he said, just start drinking every single day. Fill up a beer bottle with water and just practice drinking that.
We have one more day. We have 2 days till this event.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
By the way, we have to do it in Orange County.
Why?
We're both going to be in Orange County.
No, I'm in Orange County on Friday. I come back.
I'm there for work on Saturday.
What do you mean?
Listen, dude, you're down there.
No, I'm not. I
You
have to come home
you
after
should have
my
invited
show.
me to a comedy show and made me spend money on a hotel.
Nope, this is not going to happen. We're going to Malibu High and do it. We'll do it Saturday night.
Saturday in Orange County?
Malibu High Saturday night.
Okay, so we have Orange County Saturday.
Why Orange County? Why are you down there?
I do that. Literally, you wanted me to come do your comedy show,
right.
So I go get a hotel down there, and then I set up a bunch of work. I'm doing another interview. I'm shaking hands, kissing babies, COVID style, with a rubber glove on and a mask, and business.
We'll
usual.
get to your business, your OC All Stars, but let's finish the beer mile. You got to do it at Malibu High.
Why don't we just do a? Well,
you got a hotel room for Friday night, not for Saturday.
I'll
night.
make a poll right now. If they vote more for doing it down there with our crew versus Malibu High, we got to do what the people say.
Do you have a film crew?
Yeah, I'm flying in somebody this week. I literally pick up Nick at the airport tonight.
All right.
This is pretty good stuff.
How many guys are running it?
It's going to be... I mean, we'll do waves, but you and I will do one wave. And the second wave is going to be probably Fish and...
Ryan Fisher's going to do it?
Yeah.
He drinks beer?
No, but we'll make him do it.
Oh.
He's coming with us on Friday night. And a couple of the girls and guys that he's friends with down there... You got a pretty hot and heavy crew.
Yeah, I always find people all say they'll do this, then when it comes time, they chicken out. A lot of people chicken out of this.
I don't feel like the beer mile's really that intimidating of a thing. I've been doing it for years.
It's weird. People that don't like to drink, which is mostly CrossFitters, like
it's
they
not
don't
even
drink
drinking. Like it's
the
just the
drinking's
process
hard.
of it's consuming.
Yeah,
it's not even drinking.
The consuming's hard.
I don't consider
it's not a good feeling to your stomach.
Yeah, I don't consider a food eating contest eating. I consider it consuming. Like there's this 6 pancake challenge up in Big Bear. That's not a meal. That's just like a war.
Did you do it?
No, dude. It's like in 27 years of them having that pancake house, the breakfast place called the Grizzly, only 4 people have done it. And they just say it's constant. People are always there.
I've had a ton of friends try the 72-ounce steak in Amarillo.
Where's that?
Amarillo, Texas. If you're driving Route 66 across the country, there's a place called the Big Texan, and you stop, and they have a 72-ounce steak, which imagine basically 6 steaks.
What?
6 big steaks. It's one steak that you're going to eat. It's a porterhouse, and you have to eat the steak, the salad, the baked potato,
Oof, that's where
the
it gets
shrimp cocktail, and the roll. And you have to eat the whole thing. You have an hour to do it. If you do it, you get the meal free. Okay? The meal's like $60 or something. And if you eat it, or $80, you get the whole thing free. But when you sign up to do it, it's a big, like, canteen kind of like dinner hall type place. They put you on a table like this.
In front of everybody?
Raised in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
And they've got a big clock behind you. And everybody watches you while you do it. So I was there with my wife and driving across country, and we stopped by, and I saw a guy doing it. And he was probably had like 10 minutes left. He had a lot of food left on his table. And I walked over to him at one point when I was going to the bathroom. I go, how's it going? And he goes, this is the worst decision I've ever made in my whole life.
Dude, one time I met up with Tommy in Vegas when I was doing that whole like CrossFit Open promotion, trolling around, doing it with all the people. Tommy and I went to this place. It's this like famous burger and shake place. And like we ate a burger with 8 patties on it. I think it was like 6,000 calories for the whole burger. And he and I raced each other. And basically they have a spanking.
This is Tommy Hackenbrough.
Yeah, they have a spanking post in front of everybody. They'll bring you up on stage and then they heckle you. And then you hold on to these 2 metal bars that are bolted to the wall. And the girls come over. I thought it was a joke. This girl came over and smashed my ass with a paddle so hard I felt like I got shot in the ass with a gun.
Wait, for losing? For not doing it?
Tommy beat me by like 2 bites.
So he didn't get spanked?
No. Dude, I was instantly covered in sweat. Like, you know, like that fear sweat?
Oh, yeah, I would be, too. Let me tell you a spanking story. We were at a bachelor party on Lake George. Do you know where Lake George is in Albany, New York? Like north of Albany. Bachelor party.
My brother went to college on that lake.
And it was like the middle of nowhere, and I called one of the guys from the Howard Stern show, and I was like, hey, I need to get strippers up to like Lake George. Do you know any? They were like, call this number, whatever. So I get this number, and this girl shows up. Her name was Kitten. And I think Kitten brought a friend. I can't remember. But there was a groom and a bachelor. I can't say names. And they made them like part of the show. And it was like 20 guys in a lake house, and then these 2 strippers. The girls got back all their anger at their bad uncle on my 2 friends.
Just beating them?
They beat them so badly that at one point I was like, hey, this has to stop. Like, you girls are out of control and you're hurting them. Like this is not funny anymore. They pulled down their pants and were whipping them. And I remember going to the wedding. My friend told me, like, I was one of his groomsmen. We were getting dressed. He pulled down his pants and he showed me, because it was like a week later or 2 weeks later. He showed me all the black and blue marks on his hamstrings and his butt. And he was like, I can't have sex with my wife tonight on our like wedding night, because I can't let her know what happened. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to tell her. He's like, he goes, I'm just going to get so drunk that I can't have sex, that I pass out. She's going to want to have sex, but I go, just keep the lights out. Just make it dark. And he was like, it was the back of his hamstrings and his ass were
Passion of the Christ.
Completely purple. Yeah, Passion of the Christ. I had to stop this girl. I had to be like, Kitten, you're out of control. Like, you need to stop. You're going to hurt them.
Dude, the same thing happened, but it was us. So it was my buddy's bachelor party a year and a half ago, and it was up in Breckenridge. And I show up 2 days into this like week-long, or maybe I'm actually maybe 3 or 4 days late into this week-long bachelor party of like him and all of his college friends. I was one of his high school, like elementary school friends. I show up, and it's just a bunch of guys sitting around a table drinking beers. They're like, yeah, man, we've been skiing and stuff, and it's like really cool. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this is a bachelor
is
party.
wrong with you guys? I was like, this is my buddy's last weekend being like a wild man. And my friend was never a wild man to begin with, but like I was like, I'm going to pull it out of him this weekend. So I just call up these 2 strippers from Denver, and they drive all the way up. We had to pay $600 just to get them there, and then there's bonuses on top. Literally, they covered my buddy in lotion, and they're like, all right, boys, like, stick money onto him, like, because, like, the dollar bills stick to the lotion. And, like, a couple of my friends are like, I just took this wad of money, I was like as hard as I can. And it's just its skin, like, immediately, like, raised up and went purple and red, and everybody just started, like, the biggest beating.
Do you know that the whole idea of bachelor parties and strippers, and that will be gone within 10 years, even 5 years.
Why? Because of everybody.
The Me Too. Yeah, this is the way things are. Nope, the way things are going. That will be, at least in mainstream culture, it'll still go on with like factions of, red states and stuff like that. And there's, like, I always say when people are like, the Me Too and women need to be treated like this, I'm like, go spend one day on Lake Havasu and see the way women act at like Lake Havasu, and tell me that like this is all men's fault.
Thongs and push-up bras.
Like, if you see the craziness,
like
of like these crazy women, that it's not like there is. Look, I blame men most of the time, but for the most part, there is a side of women. Like I do a bit on stage about this, about how once women get control, as the patriarchy changes and women, they're going to be just as bad. And my theory is, I've been to strip clubs. Men have to be behaved because bouncers will break your neck or beat you or whatever happens, whatever it is. There's some kind of semblance of order. Whereas if you go to like a Chippendale show, I used to have a buddy that was one of those dancers. The women are psychotic. Psychotic. They will rip a guy's pants down and start performing oral sex on him in a club, right there. Can you imagine if a man did that to a woman at a strip club?
Belly club to death.
You'd be beaten, thrown in a dumpster for dead, or in jail. Meanwhile, women are just like, and the guy's like, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, man. I feel like you can't shut down that industry. Prostitution's legal in Nevada.
Yeah.
So I think more states are going to legalize prostitution with time. I feel like more of that behavior is going to become open-minded. Things are becoming more open-minded. I don't think that a bachelor party is a bad thing.
A lot of feminists will say that prostitution should be legal and that they're firmly behind it, which I am. I think it's a good thing.
It would take away like the 90% of like physical crime.
Yeah, school shooters and all that stuff. Yeah.
Remember what happened up in Santa Barbara? That kid who got all twisted because girls and sororities wouldn't sleep with him?
They always have a manifesto. Every single time one of these guys does it, they write somewhere, and it always involves anger at women. Always, yeah.
He's like, you don't love me.
Yeah. But it's sexual repression. Look what priests do because they're sexually repressed. Weirdos. Psychos. All right, let's chug our beer right now and see how much faster you can chug than me, because you did beat me the other day. I'll
destroy you mean?
I'm an old man now.
Here we go.
I used to be good. I was never great. I was like a...
It was always kind of like the honor system in our household to beat our brother Baxter.
I was always like a... I couldn't open... Can you open your throat?
I don't know.
Well, like Corey, that was on the episode last week, that's the world record holder. He just pours it down. Like there's no... He just opens his throat and the whole... So as fast as a beer bottle...
How do you do that?
I think a beer can pour out in 5 seconds. We'll test it with water. I think 5 seconds of beer can pour out. He can do it in like 6.
Okay.
Down his throat. So
let's see.
Ready? Wait. Cheers. Good luck Saturday.
Thanks. This is the thing that I have a trouble with. That was all foam, and look how it just builds up.
So he said at the end...
You can have 1 ounce or something?
You pour all your 4 beers into a cup, and if you have more... He got disqualified last year.
The World Championships?
Yep. So
that's the thing I can't figure out.
I think we'd both be disqualified. He said there's a cheating technique that these guys do. See, I already feel it from 1. I can't do it. I'm not doing this on Saturday. I'm out.
The thing that I can't figure out is literally you could watch the video, like I've been studying and watching my film. It's pure foam. Like I'm just hanging it and nothing's dropping back into my throat, and then all of a sudden it settles, and you're probably going to get... That's probably about 1.5 ounces, maybe?
Yeah, that's...
I mean, I'm down to finish it.
I'm not hearing your mic right now. Let me see if you're coming through.
Hello, baby.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, now, can you eat the bee for me? Just show everybody how you'll eat anything.
I don't really get it.
It's a dead bee. He just ate a dead bee. What? Have you ever looked into if it's dangerous to do that?
I feel like it'd be like very labeled if most of the things that children play with. Like I've eaten bees when I was younger for sure.
You were that kid, weren't you?
I wasn't like that kid. It was just like, who didn't eat weird shit?
I didn't.
You had a fucked up childhood then.
You've eaten scorpions.
Scorpions, tarantulas.
You've eaten a tarantula.
Snakes, salamanders.
You've eaten a snake.
Yeah, little ones. Not like a fucking gigantic rope.
You made your girlfriend eat a scorpion.
That's not that weird.
That is weird.
Dude, in some cultures, they exist like predominantly on bugs.
Not this one.
Not in this one, no. But I just think it's odd. Like, we go out and do all these nature hikes and everything like that. And, I mean, the weird shit that we put in our mouths anyways, just the fact that we eat just probably thousands of pounds a year. No, not thousands of pounds, but enough. Several hundred pounds a year of meat from dead animals that come from places like Fresno. and you won't eat a bug that's probably off your backyard, and like actually eating things that aren't covered in pesticides or like hormone based. It's pretty weird.
We'd both, by the amount of beer we left in, I'm pretty sure we'd get disqualified. So make sure you finish your beers or I'm going to disqualify you.
Thanks. Do you ever look into Paul Chek?
No, who's Paul Chek?
He was kind of the first person to like really get into like the biohacking industry. Like he was, before it became a buzzword, like he was that kind of person. And he, I'm reading his book right now on like digestive system, gut health, all that kind of stuff. Like he was promoting this stuff like 30 years ago before any of the industry got into it. You should look into that. It's amazing the stuff. Like I'm now reading it and trying to get away from like all this like mainstream food eating because of the way that like it's just undigestible and also the toxins that get inside of you.
I agree with all that, but at the same time, I think so much of this is pseudoscience, and a lot of guys, like even the guys that I love, like the Chris Kressers, and sometimes when they start talking about the gut biome, it's so unproven, and everybody's like, the gut's like the brain, and it's... And
No, I'm not digging that deep. I'm just saying, like, the difference between raw milk and pasteurized milk, the difference between, like, you know, organic meat and non-organic meat.
Yeah.
All these kind of things,
yes.
like that stuff.
Well, like Lauren right now is working with Dylan on her diet, and everything he sent her, a lot of it I knew and understood, and it was like, you know, like his template, and it was really good stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I see where he's going, a lot of the sodium, magnesium, potassium pump type stuff, and just making sure she gets lots of salts. And then it got into AGEs.
What's that?
Exactly. I had never heard about this, and it was about cooking food. And it's like, it goes back to how I always make fun of Bobby.
Toxins that get released when you cook?
And then it goes back to Bobby, Crazy Bobby, from like 5 years ago telling me something that I thought he was absolutely crazy. And then I start reading this, and as I'm doing the research on what Dylan sent Lauren, and I'm like, oh.
Well, you don't live in a test tube. It's impossible to monitor all this stuff.
I get that, but he was, you know, it's as science. Look, years ago we didn't know about triglycerides. We didn't know about lipids. We didn't know. There's certain things that people learn, and all of a sudden it's the new norm. It seems like this is something that we haven't really. I mean, we know about, like, if you use high heat on olive oil, you can turn it into a carcinogen. Like, you should never cook with olive oil at a high heat.
I do that all the time.
So bad.
It's hysterical. I was
bad.
literally just cooking potatoes with olive oil today at high heat.
So bad. So if you're gonna use butter, ghee, I think you can even go coconut oil, but I think coconut oil is more of like a medium heat. But like olive oil, always stay low heat.
I just made $20 off my friend the other day. He did not believe that coconut oil had no sugar in it. And I was like,
why would he think?
Because he's like, it's from a coconut. And I was like,
So I've been working with Inside Tracker. I had my blood test done and had all my markers done. And I have a little bit of a high LDL, which is weird. But I think
erectile dysfunction?
No, this is my cholesterol. And I've really low triglycerides and a good HDL, which is your good cholesterol. So it really doesn't matter. But I can bring my LDL down a little bit because those are the ones that make plaque. And I was like, well, I eat a lot of coconut oil, and it was funny. I'm going to have the woman on the show because she was amazing. She was like, she's like, it's amazing how coconut oil, they kind of, how they got themselves called a health food is unbelievable.
Dude, the craziest thing also about coconut products that blow my mind is 10 years ago, coconut products were not on shelves. Where the fuck did all these coconuts come from?
That's what she was saying. She was like, well, she didn't say it like that. She just said it's amazing that they've been considered a health product. And look, I like coconut oil. My daughter, me, my wife put it on our skin all the time. I think it's great. I think coconut oil is amazing for a lot of things. But she was like, you might want to lay off the coconut oil a little bit and maybe the butter. Like, just slow down with the butter because I just butter the shit out of everything. She's like, just calm down on that, and we'll bring your LDL down a little bit. I mean, it's so marginal how, like, it's not bad at all. But it was interesting about the coconut oil. There's something else about it. But back to the AGEs. I had no idea about this shit. It's like gut biome. It's like all this new science that, if you Google it and go into it, I am so not well versed.
So much.
This hand shakes because I have when I broke this elbow,
Yeah.
I did something to like nerve damage or something, and ever since I broke my elbow, like if I lock it out, my whole hand tingles. The olecranon bone pulled off, like yanked off, and I now have a bone chip.
I have a pothole in this elbow.
What's a pothole?
It's just like a freaking humongous hole in my elbow from when I smashed into a rock.
The human body's pretty amazing. I'm complaining about a tingling in my elbow, and I had Logan Aldridge on here who doesn't have an arm. AGEs. Is this it? Advanced glycation end products? Somebody listening to the show that knows this shit. Oh, yeah, here's what it is. I will read what it is, and then we'll get on to advanced glycation end products and foods and their practical guide to their reduction. It's like are known to contribute to increased oxidant stress and inflammation, which are linked to the recent epidemics of diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So it talks about meat, basically, and the way you're cooking the meat. So it's a whole interesting wormhole to go down.
I got a DNA test, and they told me that I was not supposed to eat cooked meat.
You know what's funny? Our mutual friend Cullen told me that, and he said he was there for it, and he said you were heartbroken.
I literally got up. I was like, fuck you and your whole life. I walked out of the room. I don't really eat steak that much anymore. It has nothing to do with that conversation. Like, I don't know why, but I was eating 2 to 3 steaks a day, ribeyes, cooked in butter, and apples only. And I was just like shredded to the bone, benching, squatting, like lifting, running hard. I was like, I'm a fucking animal. I've maximized my body. And then all of a sudden, just shit the bed.
And so, who told you this? Someone at
This guy he calls himself the cell doctor. Supposedly, he just like from like years of studying, like he'll just take like a little blood dab, put it on, and look at all the cells and stuff, and the way like the cell, like blood cells are formed and everything. And he goes, oh, based on this, like you have inflammation when you eat too much too much protein and fats at the same time. I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, like red meat, specifically like something like a ribeye, would actually be really bad for you. And I was like, what'd you say?
Yeah, well, what I broke down from my Inside Tracker information and what they recommended for me is that I should slow down on the red meat a little bit and up my fish intake. Like, I probably eat fish once a week.
And I eat fish 0 times a week. And vegetables, 0.
Oh, see, now it was just like add a lot of vegetables. I'm going to add a lot of vegetables and eat a lot more fish.
I just do green powder.
Oh, well, that's good. If you're doing that, that's great. You're getting all the vitamins and minerals from that.
Makes my poop soft.
Does it? Magnesium will do that, but you're probably getting magnesium from that.
I thought, like, I started to think I was learning about gut health, and I started reaching out to people, and not many people wanted to give me information without, like, these humongous deposits of cash.
Really?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. The internet, like, training world is such ridiculous. Like, people, like, get, like, a 5-second certification. They're like, yeah, I'm a gut specialist. $5,000 deposit to learn.
But you're also kind of a whore, I've noticed, that you go to coach to coach to coach, trainer to trainer to trainer.
To learn.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that you have this cross-pollination of ideas that you've brought in, and sometimes I feel like...
How do you get an education? You're living in a dead-end street world. What I've done is created a map where I can literally sync up any idea.
What do you think I do with this show? I learn from a lot of different people. I'm doing the same exact thing. What I'm saying, though, if I went to when I ran track, if I went to a different track coach every day, I would have fucked myself up.
It's not like that. It's not like that. So, dude, the CrossFit world, like, look at this. Do you guys remember a name named Brian McKenzie?
Yes.
Remember when he used to be God? Mm-hmm. Nobody even fucking knows who he is anymore.
That's bullshit. Brian McKenzie is one of the utmost authorities on breathing
Hold on. You know that because you started this podcast like 10 years ago. Nobody who showed up to a CrossFit in the past like 3 to 5 years knows who that guy is, because people, literally, there's such a shift in science all the time. So I go and I sit and I learn and I take as much information as I can until the point where I was like, I'm only going to keep on hearing the same thing over and over again from this person. So I go to the next person.
Okay, but let's look at it as though it's martial arts. Okay. So have you ever watched
what happened in the beginning of mixed martial arts when a karate guy went up against a boxer versus a wrestler? And then all of a sudden someone who learned all 3 of those modalities just beat the piss out of one of those guys?
But you don't think there's guys that stay with John Hackleman, that have trained with John Hackleman their whole entire careers?
and they get crushed.
No, that's not true. Some
Dude,
of the
look at these guys who are multi-dimensional sports, come from multi-dimensional sport backgrounds that go up against single modality people.
No, I'm not saying that. Obviously, you need to get all of those different modalities in. Same with CrossFit. You can't not learn gymnastics. You have to learn each and every one of them. And if your coach doesn't have that, you have to bring that in. What I'm saying is there's something to sticking with a coach. You don't think all these guys with Ben Bergeron or Christian Hinshaw,
they all leave, dude. Okay, let me give you a very easy example. Matt Frazier used to work with at Champlain Valley. That's the first CrossFit he was ever working at.
Okay.
He was working under a girl named Danielle something, or it started with an H. She used to be a really good CrossFit level girl. Outgrew her, went to Ben. Outgrew him, went down to...
I think he's still with Ben and
no,
Hinshaw.
he's not, dude.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you the truth right now. He probably doesn't want to share this information, but he does not work with them. Okay, so he moves on to the next person. Now he's down in Tennessee. He's working with that person. As soon as he's done with them, he's going to work on to the next person. I'm just telling you right now.
I think he works with Hinshaw still, and I think he works with...
These people think that they work with these coaches, but in reality, every super high-level athlete that I ever worked with works with themselves, and they work underneath the body of one thing. Like, if you go to Nike and you go to track there, dude, sure, you're part of, Alberto Salazar's program, but a lot of people did not do his workouts. And a lot of people did not do the things he was prescribing. I would go up and train in Park City, and I would be at the Nike training camp. Every single one of these guys had a separate coach, even though they were under the Nike team.
Sure,
the Nike team is supposed to be scheduled by one person. Listen, it's just the way of the world, dude. If you want to be the best in the world, you need to continually do research. It's my circumstances. I used to work with Rich Diaz all the time, who was my running coach. He got me down below a 15-minute 5K, which is spectacular. But eventually I was like, I can't stay with this guy, or I'm just going to pigeon myself into one position. So I go to the next person. I work with Mike Tremello. Then I get done with that person. Then I go work with Bobby Maximus. Then I get done with that person. Then I go work with... And if I don't agree with her methods, I'm out. I also think CrossFit, to be honest, it's a bunch of personal trainers that have 2 or 3 certifications that consider themselves to be master trainers. And
I used to think that too, but I'm seeing some really highly educated guys that have evolved into amazing coaches.
I'll give you an example. James Fitzgerald. As soon as he realized that his modalities was not going to be absorbed well through CrossFit because of the way that they were spreading information, he left and started his own business. That dude is very smart and extremely successful. They don't talk about him very much because they understand the power of his intelligence.
Well, there was also, back in the Glassman days, there was a power structure that is gone now. Now that you've got Eric there, it's a whole different world. We haven't seen how it's going to evolve.
The smartest people I know who have ever been involved in strength and conditioning have zero associated with CrossFit. You have Mark Ripito, started working with them, left. You had Charles Poliquin before he died, wouldn't even touch them. You have people who are, I'm sure, the guy who what's his name, the guy from Nike?
Ryan Flaherty.
Wants zero association with them. People who are smart and understand the true mechanics and way of the body for sports performance do not want to get associated with CrossFit.
It's funny you say that. You say that, and then these guys, you'll talk to them, and they'll go, well, of course I do it. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, I do it, a couple days a week, like Ryan Flaherty does it.
But it's because it's easy to use the word CrossFit when you talk about cross training.
Right.
It's so easy. Because, what about if I told you I do, I do interval weight training? You'll be like, what the fuck's that? And I'm like, I do CrossFit. You're like, oh, okay. You know what interval weight training is?
Are you just saying this because you collapsed during the handstand walk?
No, dude. I would train the sport over and over and over again. And I went to Power Monkey Camp. They taught me a ton of really cool stuff.
So let's change the subject. CrossFit Games starts tomorrow. Did you see the workouts?
Yeah, I was really upset.
Why, you think you'd be good at those?
No, I was upset because I was like, you guys had this long to design workouts for CrossFit, and this is the boring shit you came up with?
You know why it's boring? They're all doing them at a home gym.
Yeah, but what was really smart is Rogue Fitness is the sponsor. What they could have done ahead of time, sent them insanely sick equipment.
That's 60 people they would have had to send stuff to.
It's a multi-billion-dollar business.
I know, it's just too much. What
do you mean it's too much?
Look,
it's a sport.
Look, all that matters is that all they care about is the final 5, all competing in aromas.
And that is going to be a flop.
It's not. It's
what
actually...
What are you talking about?
Here's why. Let me explain to you why it will work. Because... And as much as I know the games athletes hate this because they all want a spot there and they want to be
because
featured,
of the amount of
exposure. Right. But in sports, we can name 2 boxers. We can name one racehorse. You can only name a couple people, and that's all you want to see. The Kentucky horses run every day, all day, and you can name 5 horses at the end of the year. There's 5 guys and 5 girls that are going to matter at the end of the day.
Look at Brooke Ence. Brooke Ence was a good CrossFitter, not a great CrossFitter, and she became a superstar off of one event. She won the clean ladder like 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's great. It's like...
I know, but I'm just saying there's superheroes amongst this diverse
Corey
population.
Belmore does the beer mile faster than anyone, but he's not even the fastest miler, even close in the world.
Not even close, and people, he's a superhero within himself.
Right.
If I could have ran the business, and I feel bummed, and I talk to a lot of the athletes who are competing right now, like, they would have been better off. They would have been better off just holding off a year.
Guys, I want you to listen to me when I talk about this, because it's like, it's very important. I say that a lot, but I really mean it right now. I reached out to these guys. I'm not a smart person at all, but I do care about my health a lot. So I've constantly wanted to monitor my health a little bit more than just my general practitioner or my internist or whatever they're called, internal medicine doctor, than they do. I mean, I've had blood work done there, and it's just, they don't, when I say, what does this mean or what does that mean, they're like, well, you know. And I really, really wanted to get more in depth about things like my magnesium level, my LDLs, my sex binding hormone, my testosterone, my free testosterone, all kinds of stuff like that. And so all of a sudden, somewhere on the internet, I found this company called Untitled Chapter. We reached out to them. We partnered with them, and I said, "Let me do it. Let's see if it works, and let's get together on this." So I can't tell you how easy it is. You go online, you fill out your name, you fill out your address, a little bit of information about yourself, and then they just give you the directions. They're like, okay, you're going to get this in the mail, you're going to get this in the mail. I got a DNA test. All I had to do was just swab the inside of my cheek. Not like those COVID swabs that go up your nose. I just swabbed the inside of my cheek, put the little thing in a bag, put it in the mailbox, gone. Boom. They came back to me with my biological age. And then they were able to do like genetic testing. One of the other things they were able to do then, I had to go to a laboratory. So they found me the laboratory online right there. Boom. I go to a lab. It was so easy, especially with COVID. I walk in, I just put my name into a computer, and they said, hey, what's your number? Put it, phone number. They go sit in your car. We'll text you when you're ready to come have your test taken. So they said it'll be 7 minutes. I sat in the car. 7 minutes later, I get a text. I walk straight in. I go back to this nurse. She ties the thing around my hand, types down my name. Boom. Takes my blood. And I was out of there in like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and then a week later, boom, all my results come back online right in front of me, telling me all about I think it was 43 different markers. And so much interesting stuff, but not just that. They give you a plan. They tell you then what you have to do to change things and bring things back into if something's out of line or out of whack, how do you bring it back? What should you be eating? How should you be training? There was one of the things I talked to the nurse that they put me in, or nutritionist that they put me in touch with, that you get to do if you sign up for this. And she knew all about CrossFit. She knew that one of my levels was high, and it was probably, she goes, did you work out within the last 6 days? I was like, yeah. She's like, did you do heavy weightlifting? I'm like, yep. She's like, that's why that's that. I was worried about a couple liver things, and just so informative and so put me at ease, but it also showed me that there's some things I need to work on. And I wouldn't have known what I needed to work on. I talk on the show about the coconut oil thing and a couple other things, just easy things to change my diet, just adjustments to get myself a little bit healthier and make sure I live a long, healthy life and I'm able to take care of these 2 crazy children that I have. It's just great. So they're called Inside Tracker. It's an ultra personalized nutrition platform. It analyzes your blood and DNA biomarkers along with your lifestyle habits that you're going to plug in yourself, and it's going to help you, reach your goals. So they've got a patented system that's going to transform your body data into knowledge. And they've got a custom action plan of science-based recommendations. So if you're ready to get involved in this, which I think I always say, if you're a trainer or you're an athlete or just your regular everyday person exercising, no matter who you are, you need to get blood work and you need to get a body scan. You get those two things, and then you have metrics to work with. So this is one of those two-pronged things that I say, and it's just so easy to do. Go to InsideTracker.com. InsideTracker.com. They're going to give you 20% off any plan. 20% off with the code WODCAST. WODCAST. I say you go all the way. Go all the way. Get the big one. Get it all. InsideTracker.com. 20% off with the plan of any plan with the code WODCAST. All right? Take care of your health. Do it now. Hey guys, I want to talk to you about Eat the 80. Get your delicious prepared meals delivered to your door with Eat the 80. It's the best healthy meal plan in the world. Not only is it healthy, it's the most delicious. It's all natural protein, preservative-free, gluten-free, farm-to-table fresh. It's everything you need. It's so fast. You order it on by Wednesday night. You're going to get it by go online. They've got 30 different meals on the menu. Things like they got new ones like turkey meatballs, balsamic chicken. I like the farm scramble. There's so many different ones. I had the beef stew this week. As always, the chicken dumplings is out of this world with gluten-free dumplings. You can do add-ons too, like potato salad, grilled chicken, gluten-free brownies, and it's by Wednesday night. If you order by Wednesday night, midnight time, boom, you're getting it Wednesday. You're getting it by Tuesday, Wednesday of the next week. Okay, so just do your order for the week. I'll get 5 a week and rip through them. I need to up it to 10 because my wife's a good cook, but not this good. I mean, it's so good. It comes in a recyclable box. Everything's recyclable. And here's the thing: if you're a trainer and you want to keep on your clients and keep them eating healthy, really good way is to make sure they're getting the right food. They do a program with you. They do a program where you get your clients ordering, you get them a subscription, you're going to get 10% off your own food. So go to info@eatthe80.com for that. It all comes vacuum sealed. You put it in the microwave for 3 minutes. It's got a vacuum seal on top. Put it in the microwave. You can just eat it right out of the bowl. I like to put it on a plate, make it look like I made a delicious meal myself. Meanwhile, I didn't. 3 minutes. That's it. And it's 100% gluten-free. They've got keto. They've got macro balance, vegetarian, whatever you want. Like I said, all the animal proteins ethically sourced. Their kitchen is immaculate. It's the cleanest kitchen. They go by all the health standards, plus over and above because of COVID. They just want to make sure. So they're running a special this month. This is what I want you to do. Whole30. They have a whole bunch of new Whole30 approved meals. So if you want those, go to eatthe80.com. You'll get 25% off if you use the code SEPTWHOLE30. That's SEPTWHOLE30. So go to eatthe80.com. If you want to get involved in that trainer program, it's info@eatthe80.com. And that 80 is 80. So eatthe80.com. And that code again is SEPTWHOLE30, the number 30. For 25% off, and just trust me, get the dumplings, and also please write to me. Let me know which ones you've been eating. I like to let the company know how much you guys eat it and how much you like it, because I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. I think it is absolutely delicious. Okay, we are back. We were talking about the CrossFit Games, the coaching, and then the events, and I wanted to get to the events because they do look horrendous. I mean,
it's a front squat, a handstand hold, a bigger version of Fran, and something else.
It's a lot. You want to go in the garage and do it? It looks brutal.
What do you mean? These guys do that all day long.
I know, it just looks brutal. I wouldn't want to do it.
If you were the top level of people who are just doing weightlifting circuits with gymnastics, I feel like they could have done a little bit more of a real...
But it'll be good because they got to go as fast as they can go in this.
I'm not in, like, listen, as a fan, I think that what they need to do, especially the position that they put themselves just in, nearly collapsing the company over a tweet, they need to do a better job at creating a spectator sport that awards the people who are watching.
Like I said, the final with the 5 against 5 is going to be awesome because you're going to get to know all 5 athletes. You're going to have you have more stake in it. You're not, when there's so many, it's like the Olympics. The Olympics, they kind of figure it out and they do all those interviews beforehand. So they have stories on all of the competitors. They have their backstory.
The Olympics is successful.
Let me explain. They do a backstory on each and every one of them. The producers go out and find out every single guy has a chance. They do backstories on them. So as they start winning, they start showing footage on them, training, footage on their backstory, with their family, with their that, so that the viewer then has stake. They have a vested interest in them. And that way they have it already compiled months before the Olympics. What happens in the CrossFit Games is you're watching 45 people compete and you're like, who's going to win? And you really don't know who's going to start coming up. And by the final day, you're like, I've never even heard of this guy before, and he's in the top 5 or whatever it is. So you don't know who he is. In the old days, everybody knew because of social media. Everybody knew the Rich Fronings and the Matt Chans and all those guys. The Bridges, they knew them all because of so much social media. Now these new guys, yeah, they're big on Instagram or whatever, but they're not like... There's so many guys at the games that I had to look up that I was like, I don't even know who these people are, especially the women. So by the time you get to 5, when we find out who the 5 are, everybody's going to go out and probably will know who the 5 are because, this is a sport that rewards people that have been doing it a long time. But you will be able to go watch them, figure out who they are. By the time the games comes, when it's down to 5, you're going to know all 5. And you're going to have a vested, and it's going to be more enjoyable because you know everything about all 5 of them.
Are you producing a show right now?
Yeah, I think this is on.
No, I get where you're coming from. I don't know.
What I was getting to is how long do you think you could handstand hold freestanding?
Maybe 20 to 30 seconds. What?
Really? That's all you could do?
Yeah, but how often does anybody do that?
That's one of the events.
I get it. It's not impressive. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, if you had the best, football players in the world and they had to narrow it down, you wouldn't get Tom Brady based on the tests that they were giving.
No. Even the combine
you wouldn't even get the best specimens. That's what I'm trying to say. It's I think what they're doing is they're creating this chop suey version. That's like last year. I don't even think the top 10 guys in the world were the top 10 that were in that circuit.
You're out of your mind. That's why they do so many events.
What do you mean, dude? They literally, you can't just based on if you look at all the numbers, dude, you cannot take second and third place at the CrossFit Games in 2019. Didn't even make it past the third cut.
Here's what I want to tell you. The world record for the max freestanding handstand hold. What do you think it is?
I don't know, 22 minutes?
12 minutes. 12 minutes and 8 seconds by Gordon Lindsay.
Is it a 5-pound Asian man?
I don't know, but some guy did it on a skateboard for 1 minute and 27 seconds while riding down the street.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to ride a unicycle? If you don't do it, then it's hard. If you do it, it's nothing.
I know, but here's what I'm getting to. It's also one of those things, like a slack line. You can be really good at a slack line, but you can, I can walk that slack line back and forth now. But every once in a while I stand up on it and I fall right off, the first step. And then I get back up and I do the whole thing. There are going to be so many people, I think, they're going to get up to do their handstand hold and just have a fluke and just fall down right away.
Yeah, but dude, somebody like Chandler, I don't know if he's good at holding on top of his hand or not, but Chandler is literally a monster truck engine. He is so strong and so powerful, and then all of a sudden you're just going to take that out because he can't balance on his hands for a sec, specifically on his hands for a bit. You're losing one of the best athletes in the entire world because of a very fringe, ridiculous, useless event. I understand the capacity of doing something hard into walking on your hands because it just shows your ability and coordination and all this stuff to a pre-exhausted movement and then to like moving in a direction and trying to accomplish something makes a little bit more sense. But I don't know, like a couple years ago when they started doing like the obstacles and walking over stairs on your hands, and now it's like you're walking over stairs and poles now. Ooh, you crazy, man. It's like you're taking beasts and you're just kind of taking the opportunity out of it.
I think they did that to try to make it more entertaining.
I didn't think that was that cool.
I did. I like anything more obstacle-oriented. I don't like obstacle racing like what you do.
Yeah, thanks.
No, I don't. I
also think surfing's kind of boring, but you've like sunk your entire life into chunks of water
don't get me wrong.
Over top of you.
Your Tough Mudder X, where you do like a mile,
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great. The long ones, to me, they're just long runs.
So is Iron Man.
No, Iron Man's a whole different thing. Let's stay on topic. Your long runs are really long runs with then an obstacle in between. So it's like how much of it is running and how much of it is obstacle.
I argue the same thing.
Okay,
it's not even
good.
a sport.
Right. So when you did Broken Skull Ranch, to me that is a pure test of fitness. That was great. When you do Tough Mudder X, great test of fitness. Great test. The Spartan and Tough Mudder, too much running. It's great. I love running. I think running's a great thing, but not enough obstacles, too much running.
You think standing on your hands in one place is a great test of fitness?
You're not hearing me out. CrossFit, I think, is way too much Olympic lifting. And I've always said, I've said it a million times on this show, I would like to see you train using CrossFit, but when you get to the games, nothing you've ever seen before. So it's weird shaped objects and weird runs. Like I love when they take them up to the ranch.
Point that I had to say.
Okay.
Rogue, a multi-billion-dollar business whose business has probably grown more in the past 6 months than they have in the past 6 years, had the opportunity.
There you are.
They had the opportunity to send these 60 athletes incredible objects with the money that they have definitely in their bank accounts and a sponsorship which they already have to abide by. They should have sent really incredible equipment that would have landed today and said, guys, you have the next week to do these workouts with these insanely hard objects.
But because what I think is like, say you work as a mover and your job's a mover and they're like, all right, get in that house, today we got to move all this shit out. The way you're carrying stuff, sure, they have technique and stuff that those guys use to strap refrigerators or whatever they do and carry them out on cargo, whatever carts they are. But there's a lot of stuff like getting it between this door and going down this weird staircase. The guys have to put their bodies in awkward positions that aren't proper. You're not using proper technique. You're putting your body in a compromised position. When you're like moving something, you're trying to get through a door and you're like, anyone like weightlifting would be like a weightlifting coach would be like, you don't ever hold something like that. And you're like, but it's the only way I'm going to get it through this door.
Yep.
I've got to bend down like this and put my arm to the side. And they're like, you're going to get... That's the kind of shit. That's where real functional strength comes in. Like, so if you trained, you're going to have the strength to be able to do these things. So like, give them an event, like just like say, okay, here's a refrigerator guy. You're going to carry this refrigerator some way around a track. One time around, everybody who ever gets around. How are you carrying this thing? Where are you going to put it? What are you going to do? Are you going to drag it? Where are you going to grip your hands onto it? Like, to me, that's real functional strength. When you're practicing and doing a snatch, it's technique. It's so much technique.
Where are you going with this?
That it's boring. It is not the true test of fitness. That the CrossFit Games, so what they try to do is so broad modal domains. They try to do so many different things to bring it back to this is the fittest guy because he was able to do all of these things. When it can be simplified with, let's just put them in weird situations. They're not climbing a rope.
But
they're climbing it.
Rogue had an opportunity.
But what I was telling you is it's too hard to organize, and they can do that with the Final Five. They can do that at the ranch.
How is that hard to organize, dude? They had they knew this for the past, probably 4 to 5 months.
Dude, they just went through an ownership change. they were not prepared for this. Dave Castro didn't know if he was going to still be with CrossFit.
I'm just saying, the best way to keep your job is to do your job.
And he did. I give him a lot of props. I used to criticize the guy a lot.
I'm not saying he did a bad job. I'm just saying the best way to keep your job is to do your job. Well, they could have set this thing up knowing that it was on the way coming. I think
with COVID, with everything else, I'm not going to be an armchair general. I think they've done a good job, and I think the final day or final event with the 5 guys is going to be awesome. 5 guys and girls.
I would like to see Frazier, Chandler, Hepner, Noah, and who's just a mute?
Your buddy Fikowski.
I think Fikowski actually would do really well, but Pat Vellner will do better.
Fikowski's going to do well because they've got that row in the first day.
Yeah. But that front squat, he'll probably get smashed on. I'd put Vellner in there instead. I think those will probably be the guys' names.
I think you've got Vellner. You really think Chandler?
Chandler's so strong, dude. He'll probably front squat like 445 to 465.
Wow. Are you serious?
He can row in 1,000 meters. He rows so much, he'll probably row 3 minute or under. I think if he's smart. That thruster pull-up thing, he's so fast and powerful. He's going to crush that. And the handstand thing is the only thing I'm really worried about.
So you can't count out Noah.
I said Noah's going to do so well because he's just he's a microscopic athlete. So the squat's going to be good for him. The thruster pull-up workout's going to be good for him. He's probably going to be good on like bouncing on his hands.
I think one of the things, though, that you got to take into effect is look at their open scores because this is like doing the open.
No, I looked at it the other day.
But my point is, they're not competing against each other. There's not a crowd. There's not. They're at home. They're in their own space. They're in their own world. So
that's why Hepner's going to kill. They're going to compete against each other. By the way.
Yeah, but how they do in the open is going to be, I think, indicative of how they do in this. And some of those guys did not do well in the open. They did well, like they got in through one of the sanctionals.
That's why Vellner's going to be in there. Noah's going to be in there. Hepner's going to be in there. Chandler's going to be in there.
You know, Froning did really well in the open this year.
No, I don't pay attention.
Yeah, Froning was high up there. I think he was like 15th or something at the open, which is just hilarious to me that he's like a games competitor and still could be like top. You know, like he's not out of it. Like he's still one of the best there is.
He'll probably come back. But if Frazier retires, he'll just swoop back in the next year.
No, I don't think that's what it is with him. I think there's probably many other reasons. But so your event, you're doing an event starting when?
November 2nd, baby.
November 2nd, like the day before the election.
Yep.
You have to get in that before the civil insurrection starts.
Yep. I mean, once the sign-ups are all there, there's nothing they can do about it. I've already got their money.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
So your event is very similar to the CrossFit Games.
No, not at all. Like, we're specifically promoting that we're not a CrossFit event. 2 of our events are pure running. And we made
How many events are there? 5?
4. 4. I mean, like, we use the structure that the Open uses, meaning, like, it's a virtual event, but, like, you know, everybody's doing that.
What's it called?
It's called OCR Stars. Just like Dancing with the Stars, we're trying to find the stars of the world.
Okay. So OCR Stars because there's no competitions for obstacle course racing,
marathons,
right?
no OCR events, no CrossFit events, no triathlons. There's nothing.
No Spartans, no Tough Mudders.
Nothing. One event called Savage Race. I'm giving them a shout out. They're just started opening up things again, but the likelihood that you're going to be able to get to them and be able to be within the capacity of the size that they're allowing, it's challenging.
So your event is an online event. It's similar to doing an obstacle course race?
No, we're just trying to determine
who would be good at
yes. Based on the tests that I'm giving, we're just trying to find who would be the fittest and most capable OCR athlete in the world. Like, obviously, in obstacle course racing, you have to run a significant amount. And there's events that we do that's all the way from the mile all the way to 24 hours. We're not going to test a 24-hour run, obviously. In our events, like the 3K the 3K World Championships, like you're touching 30 plus obstacles within less than 2 miles. You're just sprinting, and there's so much grip strength and pull power. So like I just tested one of the workouts yesterday, and it took us 5 minutes and 17 seconds, and that's what we call the gripper chipper. And that's a very, very grip intensive, extremely hard workout. That's like, obviously, if you're super fit and you have tons of grip strength, it pays. And if you screw up, you're going to be pushing. It's 12-minute time cap. You probably won't make it, because the more you screw up, the more you're going to be penalized.
Are there cutoffs?
Yes.
Oh, there are.
Yep.
So
12-minute time cap.
So if you miss, no, but what I'm saying is everybody going to get ranked like the Open?
Yeah.
Okay, so there'll be a complete like ranking system.
It's all through Competition Corner, which is just like the Open.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, is that how the Open does it?
Well, they have their own version of it.
Okay.
They have their tech, but Competition Corner is like a worldwide use. Like Wadapalooza uses them. You
and
sign
then
up.
You're using Strava too, aren't you, for the runs? So say somebody does what's one of the runs, like a 5K?
Easy example would be a 2-mile time trial.
You have a 2-mile time trial.
It's an example. I'm not telling the workouts yet.
Oh, okay. What if someone did their 2-mile time trial downhill?
No, so there's metrics to it. Like you can't Strava. Like, you've used Strava before.
Yeah.
I'll go in. Our judges, Mike Tremello is the head judge. He'll go in. He'll click your link. Let's say you're one of the top 20 scores in the world in your age group. He'll click your link. He sees it's like your 2-mile time trial. You ran it in 10 minutes. Like that's a spectacular time. All of a sudden he sees you've gone down 200 feet. It means you ran downhill. So it's got to be either zero gain or positive gain on runs.
Okay.
And your watch also has to show cadence. If we can't see that you've been running like anywhere between like 60 and 120 beats per minute, we're not going to count it. If you're not validated or verified in any way ever existing, and you have one of the best scores in the world, we just can't help you out. If you've never existed in the internet and you've now shown one of the best scores in our fitness, like in our workouts, and you don't have any video or anything like that, we can't count you.
Because how much money are you guys paying out?
The first tier of prizes is $5,000, $3,000, $2,000, $1,500 for the top 5 scores, and every event win is a $1,000 bonus.
So how many events are there?
There's 4.
4 events. Can you give us an example of an event, even though like you don't give us the event, but like an example of what an event would be? Because the people listening are usually CrossFitters, and I think this is still good for CrossFitters.
Yeah.
There's just the difference of this in CrossFit, I would say, is there's a little more of a running element. So
we're not testing these extreme versions of fitness where it's like CrossFit has such a broad spectrum. They're like going to make you build all the way up to a 275-pound snatch. Like that's so limited to a certain amount of people being able to do it. All of our movements can be done by everybody in the world, basically, unless you are like paralyzed. Like we're making it available to everybody. The equipment that we're using is only 250-pound dumbbells or 35-pound dumbbells for men and women, and a 24 by 20 by 30 inch box, which is the typical competition box, and a pull-up bar. That's it.
Okay.
And you have to have a lane that shows that you're covering distance, just like you do in the Open for handstand walks.
Right.
Very simple.
They also have to have I believe it's a 300-meter running distance for them in these CrossFit games. They've got 300, so that means they're going to run a 600.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So our runs are completely isolated from our workouts. There's no running in our workouts.
Oh, really?
Yep. I just wanted to make sure that you can show me that you have the capacity to run and you have the capacity to do extreme high-level conditioning workouts.
Well, it's kind of like biathlon then, because you're going, or not biathlon,
biathlon
decathlon. I mean decathlon, where you're like, here's this event where it's pure running. Here's this event where it's pure throwing. Here's this event where it's pure this.
Yes. So it'd be my goal to find truly like the most conditioned athlete on the planet, and not based on your strength. It's not strength and conditioning or skill and conditioning. It's just conditioning. And like, I'm going to make you think about what I could get you to do with a 50-pound dumbbell. We're not going to do things like snatches and clean and jerks. Like I'm going to have people do lunges or box step overs into pull-ups. We're not going to do kipping though. So obviously I'm going to tell everybody like our pull-ups are different. So think of pull-ups.
Why are you not going to do kipping?
Because it's not something we would do in our sport, and I don't think it defines a level of fitness. I think it just defines a level of conditioning in that movement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's effective for CrossFit, but it's not effective for what I find. Like, you're never going to go to a gym and find, well, not never. You won't often go to a gym and find like a Olympic skier, like a cross country skier doing kipping pull-ups to generate fitness for his soon-to-be skiing event. But you will find them doing like extremely hardcore dips or barbell rows or doing strict pull-ups and things like that. But we can't test strict pull-ups that way.
Okay, so what are all the equipment they need again?
250-pound dumbbells for men, 35 for women, 24 by 20 by 30-inch box, and a pull-up bar. And
That's it. That's it.
That's it. It's
And then the
super simple.
lane, how much do they need in distance?
I'm not telling that yet. But it's not going to be like 100 feet. But understand that it's going to be like, just like you have to have 5-foot sections in the CrossFit Open, you have to have 5-foot sections.
Okay. So pretty much anyone can do this at their home gym. Oh,
Very easily.
okay.
But what we've done also is we've created partner gyms around the world. Like, right now we're 25. Probably by the end of the day we'll be above 35. And like, you can go onto our website, you can click race info, and then it goes to map, and it shows you this global map, and you can go everywhere.
Okay. With my level of fitness, could I do this?
Very easily.
Okay, so pretty much you're saying everyone can do it.
You could not fail this, Eddie. Literally, like, we should mute this. So mute this for 2 seconds.
I can't.
Well, then pause it.
Okay.
I'm going to say it, and then literally you'll just be like, oh, now I understand.
No, I can't.
Okay, so then just don't record this, and then
It's recording. I can't stop the recording.
Jeez. Because I was going to explain a workout, and then you and I can continue to have this conversation, and you'd be like, oh, I fully understand.
All right. Well, I'm going to do it then because it sounds interesting.
Yes.
All right. Whoa. Recording paused. Okay, so we just he just explained to me why he's being arrested for being a pedophile.
Whatever. I'm crush it in jail.
No, anyway, I understand now the workouts. I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
That's my nightmare because basically what you told me is you're going to have to work hard to do well.
Yep.
And there's no gaming. It's like you gotta really give your all.
Well, it's just like racing. I mean, if you screw up, it is going to cost you. If you are prepared and analytical about this thing, you're going to succeed.
It's the kind of event that I think gives competitors butterflies, like coming into where they go. If it was a CrossFit Games event, there's like I don't want to give up your concept, but it pays for dogging it. Like you dog it, you pay for it.
Yeah.
And there's no slowing down. It's you slow down, you might pay the consequences more for laying off the gas.
Yeah. Well, the fun thing also about our runs is the sprint lap always pays. So in our time trial, the last mile in our long time trial, it's a kick lap. So it means like you have to sprint the last mile. So if we're doing a 5-mile time trial, let's say you ran all 6-minute miles, and then you do the next one in 5, the last one, and your competitor does it in like 5:05, and somehow it's the same time. The tiebreaker is the person who does the fastest mile at the end. And then with our short distance one, which is going to be held at a track, it's the fastest lap at the end. So it just pays to fucking book it.
This sounds horrible.
But that's what our races are like. I mean, we design these workouts. I design these workouts because I've been designing workouts for myself for the past 10 years. Like, it's perfectly designed to perform in our races. And, like, the whole idea is, like, everything's been canceled. The Open's been canceled again. Our events have been canceled.
Give me an example of a CrossFitter that would do well at this.
I mean, Hepner would absolutely murder one of those workouts. Yeah. Just because, and same with Noah. Noah's got that body type. The two of those guys have such good body types. But
how would they do in the runs?
Well, they'd suffer. I would say that Hepner would do better because he's a better runner. Mm-hmm. Like a girl, Christy Aramo, would probably come in and she'd be top 5 in the world in this thing.
Yeah.
Because she'll probably be top 5, top 10 in both the gym workouts.
What's the date on the games?
I think it's end of October. We'll definitely get some good CrossFit Games athletes.
Yeah.
Like we just brought on Pure Spectrum as title sponsor, and they're allowing their athletes to make one of their competition appearances our event for the year.
Oh, that's great.
So it's just like we're trying to draw athletes in, and I keep on telling all the people who are starting to sponsor us, I was like, guys, just make a pro team so you don't have to like force all these posts. Just like people are organically going to post about it. If your athletes are competing in it anyways, it's not like they're just going to work out and never talk about it. So it allows all this traffic to be generated.
Where do people sign up?
Go to OCRstars.com.
OCRstars, STARS.com.
Yep. And you go to my Instagram. It's everywhere. We're doing very well, but at this point, it's like my goal is 10,000 athletes. I will not be happy until I hit 10,000 athletes, because at that point, we give away $140,000.
Oh, so the more money you get, the more money you're paying out.
Yes.
Oh,
so
that's
we created tiers. Like, I have to hit 0 to 7,000 athletes. I only give away $31,000, because like the amount of expenses in this business, like I put in $30,000 my own money. I put in $30,000 my brother's money. He was like, Hunter, I already had offers from multiple people like we'll give you money, and I was like, honestly, my brother wants to do this, so I'm just going to let him get in the project. So got to pay back those 2 chunks, and then the expenses of the business, which is like all my employees. Like we have a team of 6 people working on this right now, which is crazy. Like I never thought.
What about all the work afterwards? Like once everybody compiles their video and sends it in, do you have to watch everyone's video or just the ones?
Like one of our expenses is we hired Mike Tremella from Precision CrossFit as a full-time judge. He works literally from November 2nd until November 28th on the clock,
watching video.
Yeah, watching videos and verifying it. So
wow.
he has a salary for that month. He's going to make a chunk of change. He has to pay other judges because he can't watch everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, like we very much gave a big like burly budget away.
Are you having age groups, or is it just men and women?
14 categories, 10 age groups, 2 pro, 2 team.
Wow.
Yeah.
You put a lot of work into this.
That's crazy, man. Like I just was like, I was so sick and tired of literally showing up to flights and things were canceled. So I was like, I know I could get on this flight and go to this country, but my event's going to be canceled when I get there. That happened to me twice this year. So I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Imagine every weekend of your life being canceled.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what I'm saying.
Every comedy club booker goes, hey, we're going to need to move your date. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, we're going to need to move your date again. I'm like, okay. And they're like, we're going to need to, I go, let's just not have a date. We'll put one in the books when this is all over.
Yeah.
But like you, I think I'm going to start. I just found a venue out in Thousand Oaks that is an outdoor venue in like a bowl, like a mini Hollywood bowl, and they can seat 100 people. And I might start doing like COVID comedy club comedy shows there, where like everybody's spaced out and can watch the show, and just start doing a regular weekly show and bringing in comedians, and because there's nowhere to go see comedy in California.
Dude, make your own series.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. Like honestly, if I got an enormous amount of people, I'd make money off of this thing. But to be honest, dude, we're giving away so much money. I literally have to hit a massive amount to get like real success out of this. But I'm basically doing this because I'm not going to lose a whole year of my life.
Are you competing in it?
Yes. I'm going to dominate everybody. But I won't take money.
What if you win? Are you going to give yourself the win?
No. I'll just roll it down to the next person.
Okay.
Some person like wrote on my page like, this is so unfair, you're training for your own events. It's like, dude, you have a terrible attitude. Do not sign up for my event.
It is true, you do know the events.
Yeah, but what am I supposed to do? I have to test them. I have to, like, literally I'm arranging everything.
I think you do them, but you don't put yourself on the board.
Why? It just drives competitiveness. Like, I want people to work hard. I want people to compete. I'm trying to set standards. Literally, I'm training.
That's like Shaq against the world or whatever it was.
I'm training like it's 70%, maybe even less the amount of time that I usually do. I usually wake up in the morning, train for 2 hours, eat, sleep, wake up, like, take a nap, train again for 2 hours, eat, sleep. You know, that's all I do. Now I'm here on a podcast. As soon as this is done, I have another work call. As soon as that's done, I brought my notepad down in case I had ideas so I could write down the ideas so I don't forget them. Like, I'm constantly working.
You really do love the color purple, don't you?
I love it.
Such a...
Nice.
All right. I think we've talked long enough. That one beer's kicking in. I never drink.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. Good show. Thanks for coming.
It was the greatest.
This was the best show we've ever done.
You think so?
No, the best show we ever did is the one that never made it to air. When we were just yelling at each other.
When we were up top?
Yeah, we were at your place in the bus, and then I had forgot to press record.
Were we drinking?
No, we were sitting in your driveway at your house doing the show, and about 37 minutes into the show, I looked down and had never pressed record. So I was like, well, it's been fun talking to you. And I just left. That was pretty bad.
Typical.
Yeah. I'm doing a show tomorrow night. If anybody wants to come down, I'm going to post this today. If you want to come down to Huntington, I believe it's a free show, and there's a super secret guest that I'm not allowed to talk about, who, just trust me, he's one of the greatest comedians alive. So if you want to come see that show, it's at Huntington Beach. And also, what else is going on? Beer Mile, Saturday at Malibu High.
You said Orange County, correct?
Malibu High. Where's your hotel room? Friday night, you're staying in Orange County.
No.
Friday night after the show.
Oh, Newport.
Yeah, Newport.
Yeah.
And then Saturday night, where's your hotel room?
I haven't decided.
That's in Malibu.
No.
Yeah, you're staying in Malibu.
Dude, these filters are so funny.
Oh, I love them. Saturday, I can do it to you too.
All right. Well, it was great. It was great being here. I'm going to drop the mic and I'm going to go.
No. I've got to ask you, in all honesty.
What?
So Saturday night, it's Malibu High, I think.
Newport.
Why? I can't.
Because no one's coming here to come do the show. We could get a lot of people coming together. We got a cameraman. We have everything set up, really meant to have a good time and create some good content. And it's just going to be me and you sitting here at Malibu High with nobody else there, and no one's going to witness this greatness.
For me to drive down there twice.
Just stay there.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the Wadcast Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Ift. Wait, that's how I start the show. I'll do what you do. Go to OC Stars.
Man,
what is it?
I don't even know why I come to have these.
I just gave you a great. We just plugged the whole show. What is it? OCstars.com?
OCR Stars.
OCRstars.com. OCRSTARS.com. Join up. I'm probably going to compete in it. What's the longest run? Can you give me an estimate?
It'll take you definitely under an hour.
Under an hour. I'm going to do it. I'm going to compete in it. You'll see my dumb score on there. I'll be like, yeah.
It's for you.
I'm going to be the slowest score on there, but I will do the event. And you guys should all do it too. Sounds like something that would be interesting for Wadcasters and Showhunter, that you support him and like him on the show, that you actually signed up for his event. How much is it?
$30.
$30. Let's all do it. It's better than the CrossFit Games. Come on.
Yeah.
And handstand walk or handstand hold. Who's going to win it? Give your prick.
Someone we don't even know.
Exactly. It's going to be somebody we don't know that is a gymnast. So see the games. Come see us do the Beer Mile down in Malibu High. And I am going to try to break 10 minutes. It's going to be really hard for me to break 10 minutes. And Hunter has to go under 6 minutes, or I get a 5:40. He's got to go under 5:40, or I get $1,000 to my charity, an ALS charity.
It's under 6 minutes.
Oh, it's under 6 minutes. He's got to do. I get $1,000 going to an ALS charity. And thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for our sponsors, Eat the 80, which is I'm going to eat one right now. They're the best food in the whole world. And Inside Tracker, and trust me, I'm going to eat the 80 because it's going to get my blood work better on Inside Tracker. And thank you guys for listening, and go to OCRstars.com. Sign up.